The first thing we try to do is to take pictures of what we see so that we have photographic evidence.
High above Earth, an astronaut on the International Space Station glimpsed something truly unexpected, drifting against the endless black of space.
Other footage from the ISS has reinforced the idea that strange things are happening.
When he radioed back to NASA, even the experts were stunned. What had he witnessed? A simple trick of light, or something far more mysterious? Let's begin our journey skyward.
As astronauts from a host of nations advance mankind's research in space, some eagle-eyed Earth-bound viewers believe they've spotted aliens studying us.
Quiet day on Expedition 10. In late 2004, the International Space Station hosted Expedition 10, led by Commander Leroy Chiao and cosmonaut Salijan Sharapov. Day-to-day tasks involved maintaining crucial systems and performing science experiments in microgravity. It was a routine mission as far as spaceflight goes, and the astronauts had settled into a comfortable rhythm. With Earth spinning below at 5 miles per second, any day could bring a breathtaking view. Meteor showers and auroras were common treats, but space can also deliver the unexpected. Unknown lights sometimes zip by. A piece of debris here, a rare atmospheric glow there. For Leroy Chiao, who had flown multiple times before, this was just another leg of an illustrious career, until it wasn't. Leroy Chiao's background. Born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Leroy Chiao grew up fascinated by airplanes and rockets. After studying chemical engineering at UC Berkeley, he earned a doctorate in chemical engineering, all while dreaming about piloting spaceships. In 1990, NASA selected him for astronaut training, launching a path that spanned 4 space flights. By the time he became ISS commander in Expedition 10, Chiao was a seasoned traveler of the cosmos, calm under pressure, methodical, and no stranger to unusual sights. He was used to seeing satellites blink in the distance, free-floating ice crystals sparkling like stars, and the swirling wonder of Earth's weather below. But as the station orbited in the darkness one particular day, Chiao's perspective would shift forever. Spacewalks and strange encounters. Spacewalks, known as EVAs, are critical for station upkeep. Astronauts venture outside, tethered to the ISS, to install or replace hardware. Each EVA demands intense focus. It's also an unforgettable chance to see Earth framed by the vast black of space, with no window between you and the void. The quiet can be eerie. Only the whoosh of oxygen in your helmet and crackling radio chatter. Many astronauts have reported curious sights, flashing lights that might be reflections or cosmic rays hitting their retinas. Usually, NASA logs them as routine phenomena, soon explained by vantage points or known debris. But during a spacewalk in 2005, Leroy Chiao spotted something that made him question everything he knew about orbit: the bright lights. While positioned outside the ISS, Chiao glimpsed an odd formation of lights zipping below. In his retelling, he described them as 5 or so bright lights in a line, speeding past. At first, he assumed it could be an airplane formation, but from orbit, that seemed unlikely. The lights appeared to pulse, then vanished into darkness. Startled, he reported it to Mission Control. Tension rippled through NASA's communication loops. Could these be satellites? Or was it a reflection from city lights on Earth's surface? Chiao wasn't sure. He had never seen anything like this. The only certainty, he witnessed a phenomenon that didn't match any typical orbital event, and NASA didn't have an immediate explanation. NASA's initial reaction. Mission Control's first response was to cross-check known satellite passes and track flights in nearby airspace. The last thing NASA wanted was confusion between a genuine anomaly and a mundane object. But no standard matches came up right away. The tracking data didn't confirm any satellites moving in tight formation at that location. Meanwhile, within the ISS, Chow remained calm, yet intrigued. He'd seen countless city lights flicker on Earth's limb, but this seemed different. NASA publicly stated they had no definitive explanation. The press quickly latched onto rumors of unidentified objects, though NASA tried to keep speculation minimal. The official position? It was likely a terrestrial source or an optical illusion. Earlier, astronaut sightings. Chow's experience wasn't the first time NASA astronauts encountered baffling sights. In 1963, Mercury astronaut Gordon Cooper claimed to have seen strange greenish lights from orbit, although NASA later attributed them to malfunctioning equipment or illusions. Later, in the 1980s, shuttle crews filmed bright orbs that turned out to be bits of ice or debris near the craft, and the ISS itself has a history of capturing curious flashes on camera, with many dismissed as cosmic rays or lens reflections. But occasionally, a sighting resists an easy explanation. Each time, NASA faces a flurry of speculation, from UFO enthusiasts to atmospheric scientists. Chiao's story, distinct for the formation of lights, added a fresh layer to this ongoing enigma. NASA's public stance on UFOs. Over the decades, NASA has made its stance on unidentified flying objects quite clear. The agency has never discovered evidence of extraterrestrial craft. Officially, the majority of sightings have routine explanations. Satellite glints, micrometeoroids, space debris, or internal reflections in cameras appear strange out of context. Even so, NASA acknowledges that some cases remain unsolved due to limited data, not necessarily implying alien origin. The agency's posture is primarily one of skepticism, rooted in scientific inquiry. They prefer to exhaust all known possibilities before embracing more fantastic theories. When an astronaut calls in a weird sight, NASA jumps into detective mode, analyzing flight paths, checking instrumentation, and correlating times. Life on the ISS. Living aboard the ISS means constant exposure to breathtaking scenes. Astronauts witness sunrises and sunsets every 90 minutes. They watch lightning storms dance across continents. They marvel at the glowing auroras swirling around Earth's poles. While these sights are glorious, they're also well documented. No surprise, no panic. However, there's also the quiet hum of machinery, the tense awareness that outside your window is a vacuum. In that setting, any unexpected phenomenon can magnify in significance. When Chow spotted those lights, he wasn't just dealing with a momentary curiosity. He was grappling with the reality of being miles above Earth, reliant on fragile technology and confronted by something even NASA couldn't instantly label. That feeling lingered. How the media reacted. Once reporters learned that an ISS commander witnessed unexplained lights, headlines naturally flared. Talk shows buzzed about UFOs and NASA cover-ups. Tabloids claimed proof of extraterrestrials. Chow, known for his calm demeanor, was suddenly fielding sensational questions. In interviews, he emphasized his uncertainty. He didn't claim to see a craft, only lights that behaved oddly. NASA press releases stuck to a measured tone. It could be an unusual reflection or an Earth-based source, yet no definitive statement emerged. For some, NASA's caution was a sign of hush-hush secrecy. For others, it was standard procedure. Reality check. Space debris. One of the most common explanations for odd sightings is space debris. Thousands of objects, from spent rocket stages to fragments of old satellites whiz around Earth at high speeds. These can reflect sunlight, creating bright flashes that appear suddenly. If multiple fragments move in parallel, they might look like a formation of lights. However, they rarely maintain a neat line or consistent spacing. Cosmic rays and human vision. Astronauts sometimes report seeing mysterious flashes even with their eyes closed. This is often caused by cosmic rays, high-energy particles hitting the retina. Could Chiao have experienced a trick of his own vision? Possibly, but cosmic rays usually produce singular flashes, not a series of aligned lights. Also, Chiao described the lights as external, moving across Earth's horizon. This suggests an external source rather than an internal phenomenon. Nevertheless, cosmic rays remain one of NASA's standard lines of inquiry whenever an astronaut sees lights. They're a reminder that the human mind can be deceived in microgravity, which lacks the usual reference points. But for Chiao's sighting, cosmic rays didn't seem to provide a satisfying answer either. Chiao's personal take. Over time, Leroy Chiao maintained a balanced stance. He never declared the lights to be alien visitors, but he also admitted he couldn't explain them. In subsequent interviews, he entertained the fishing boat theory, noting that intense lamps from large vessels can appear startling from orbit. Yet he also pointed out that the alignment and motion were eerily precise. Some nights, after returning to Earth, he'd reflect on that moment outside the ISS. Perhaps it was a once-in-a-lifetime coincidence. Or maybe there are phenomena in Earth's upper atmosphere not fully understood. Chiao's open-mindedness resonated with many. Here was a decorated NASA astronaut acknowledging that human knowledge is incomplete, and sometimes it's okay to say, "I don't know." NASA's ongoing investigations. To NASA's credit, they continually gather data from ISS instruments, Earth-observing satellites, and astronaut reports to investigate odd events. From glowing noctilucent clouds to high-altitude lightning known as sprites, new discoveries keep emerging. The agency has also begun collaborating with other institutions to analyze unidentified aerial phenomena. While NASA's main focus is scientific exploration, it doesn't ignore credible witness accounts. Every so often, an astronaut or cosmonaut glimpses something that defies quick classification. These experiences are documented for future reference. Even if NASA can't solve the riddle immediately, it stores the information in hopes that new technology or fresh insights might provide clarity later. Other ISS oddities. Over the years, the ISS has been a hotspot for strange and wonderful occurrences. Astronauts have photographed swirling auroras from above, capturing green and red curtains of light that dazzle the eyes. They've witnessed rare air glow that paints a faint, colorful band around Earth. On a few occasions, cameras caught fleeting streaks resembling meteors seemingly traveling upward, but these turned out to be illusions caused by orbital motion. In 2013, Italian astronaut Luca Parmitano almost drowned in his helmet due to a spacesuit leak. A different kind of horror altogether, but it shows how unpredictably conditions can change out there. Through it all, NASA prides itself on finding answers. Yet for some sightings, a definitive explanation remains elusive. Collaborations with cosmonauts. The ISS is a joint project of multiple nations, notably the United States and Russia. Russian cosmonauts have their own share of strange tales. On Mir, the Soviet-era space station, there were occasional claims of flashing lights or unidentified objects, often chalked up to reflections or stray hardware. On the ISS, Russians sometimes observe the same phenomenon as NASA astronauts. For instance, If Chiao saw a mystery flash during an EVA, Russian mission controllers might check if their cosmonaut spotted anything from inside. However, not all sightings align perfectly, which complicates the puzzle. If only one person sees the event, illusions are more likely. If multiple witnesses confirm the same thing, the riddle deepens. High-altitude lightning and sprites. One captivating explanation for unusual lights in the upper atmosphere is transient luminous events, sprites, elves, and blue jets. These are forms of high-altitude lightning phenomena that flicker above thunderstorms, often too quick or faint for the naked eye on the ground. From orbit, they can appear as sudden bursts of light stretching up toward space. Could Chiao have glimpsed a rare sprite cluster? Possibly. Those sprites usually happen over storms and are extremely quick. They also don't typically arrange themselves in a neat row. Nonetheless, NASA has documented these bursts many times, capturing mesmerizing photos. Transient luminous events remind us that Earth's atmosphere is still full of secrets, and that astronauts sometimes become unexpected witnesses to them. When NASA stays silent. Sometimes NASA chooses not to comment extensively on an odd sighting. It might seem suspicious, but often the agency has no fresh data to contribute. If instruments didn't record the event, the only evidence is an astronaut's testimony. In Leroy Chiao's case, NASA didn't release an official final statement. Instead, spokespeople reiterated standard possibilities: reflection from Earth, atmospheric phenomenon, or a trick of perspective. The absence of a firm conclusion can feel unsatisfying. This is where the phrase "left NASA speechless" often appears in headlines. But speechless, in NASA terms, can simply mean lack of conclusive data. Without additional evidence, video, radar logs, or multiple witness confirmations, the agency remains neutral. That vacuum of certainty fuels endless debates, public response, and UFO speculation. Chiao's sighting quickly entered the wider UFO lore. Online forums and social media circulated theories linking his lights to rumored secret programs or even advanced craft from other civilizations. Enthusiasts pointed to NASA's silence as proof of a hidden agenda. Yet skeptics countered that NASA's entire mission is about exploration. If there were proof of aliens, NASA would likely be the first to investigate publicly. Chiao himself expressed ambivalence about UFO mania. He believed in the possibility of life elsewhere in the cosmos. Statistically, it seems likely. But he also believed Earth-based phenomena can be surprising. Without further evidence, the extraterrestrial craft angle remained speculation. Nonetheless, the story refused to fade, fueling ongoing interest in cosmic unknowns. The human perspective. To the public, space exploration is often about big science and advanced technology. For astronauts, though, it's a personal journey of wonder and vulnerability. When they see something unexplainable, it challenges their sense of place in the universe. Leroy Chiao, meticulously trained in engineering and science, found himself briefly at a loss. The moment outside the ISS, staring at those odd lights, was humbling. Many astronauts describe a cognitive shift, the overview effect, when viewing Earth from space. It fosters a deeper understanding of our planet's fragility. If something bizarre appears up there, it underscores how little we truly know. Perhaps that is what left NASA and everyone else momentarily speechless. Chiao's life after return. Returning to Earth in April 2005, Leroy Chiao wrapped up his final spaceflight. He continued working with NASA in various roles before eventually moving into research and entrepreneurial ventures. His name, however, remained tied to that singular sighting. He'd occasionally answer questions about it on podcasts or interviews, never veering into sensational claims, but never dismissing the event outright. He used the interest as an opportunity to discuss broader topics: how space exploration changes our view of life on Earth, how fragile our planet is, and why science should remain open-minded. Even years later, he'd reflect that the simplest explanation might be fishing boats. But in his quiet moments, he admitted it might be more than that. NASA's current approach. NASA's modern approach to unexplained events has evolved, with more powerful instruments aboard the ISS, 4K cameras, advanced spectrometers, and collaborative data sharing with other agencies. Mysterious lights can be studied more thoroughly. Recent NASA efforts also include analyzing unidentified aerial phenomena in Earth's upper atmosphere, partnering with agencies like NOAA and the Air Force. While this primarily focuses on weather and flight safety, it does mean NASA keeps an eye out for anything unusual. If an astronaut today reported a similar formation of lights, NASA would have better tools to investigate. Yet even in our high-tech age, some events still slip through the cracks. Sometimes, a fleeting glow occurs without a camera pointed in the right direction. Similar cases worldwide. Beyond NASA, space agencies in Europe, Russia, China, and Japan face their own sightings. Japanese astronaut Soichi Noguchi once tweeted photos of strange streaks that turned out to be meteor fragments. European Space Agency commander Luca Parmitano saw flickers near the station that correlated to lightning storms over Africa. In each instance, the world briefly buzzed with speculation before routine explanations emerged. But occasionally, a sighting remains unresolved. The global space community shares these puzzling accounts at conferences, hoping to pool knowledge. Each uncategorized phenomenon is both a headache and a chance to learn. Leroy Chiao's incident is part of this global tapestry, a reminder that even the best-trained eyes can catch fleeting, baffling glimpses of the unknown. Looking to the future. As humankind prepares to return to the Moon and eventually reach Mars, our capacity for witnessing cosmic anomalies will expand. Future missions will bring more cameras, more sensors, and more observers. Perhaps we'll unravel new atmospheric or orbital puzzles, or even find unequivocal signs of extraterrestrial life. Astronaut sightings, like Chiao's, underscore the importance of remaining open-minded yet grounded in science. If we ever confirm something genuinely beyond earthly origin, it will likely be through rigorous analysis. Until that day, each unexplained event fuels the public's imagination. NASA might be speechless when confronted with limited data, but it's rarely uninterested. The pursuit of truth drives space exploration forward, shining light on hidden corners of our universe. A window into the unknown. Why does Chiao's experience still captivate us? Perhaps because it reminds us we haven't figured everything out. Even after decades of satellites and space stations, Earth's orbit and atmosphere hold surprises. In an era of rapidly advancing technology, it's humbling that an astronaut can still look out and see something that defies quick explanation. The human spirit craves wonder, and that line of lights shimmering below the ISS carried wonder in spades. Whether it was fishing boats, an atmospheric quirk, or something else entirely, it stirred a sense of awe, both for Leroy Chiao and for those following the story back on Earth. Sometimes, a little mystery is the best reminder of how vast our reality truly is, why it matters. For NASA, continuing to investigate anomalies ensures mission safety and furthers scientific knowledge. For the public, tales like Chiao's spark curiosity and fuel discussions about life beyond our planet. The fact that a trained astronaut could witness something extraordinary and walk away without a conclusive answer is exciting. It shows that exploration is an ongoing dialogue between what we know and what we can't yet explain. Perhaps left NASA speechless is an overstatement, but it captures the genuine surprise the agency feels when faced with unsolved questions. As long as we keep looking up and sending people into orbit, these mysteries will persist. And that might be the greatest inspiration, to keep exploring until the unknown becomes known. From above our bright blue planet, Leroy Chiao glimpsed a puzzle that still resonates. Space remains full of questions. Thanks for watching.